Effective stakeholder management involves providing a clear, accurate, and timely reports. Transparency fosters the trust and reduces the misunderstandings, and also ensures the stakeholders remain engaged. By customizing reports based on the stakeholder needs, the project managers can maintain a strong communication channels and support informed decision making. Here are some of these best practices for, let's say, sending status report or preparing the status report. So, stakeholder status report should be structured and aligned with the project progress. Should be constant updates and clarity, or it's supported with the data presentation. Also, using the project management tools ensures the report are accessible and meaningful. By leveraging the dashboards and concise summaries, the stakeholders can quickly assess the project status and make informed decisions. So, again, these best practices to ensure that you have an effective status report of your project, your stakeholders, by having a regular updates, by maintaining a constant reporting schedule, and where you have to identify it during your communication and engagement plan, where you will be asked by the stakeholders to share with them, say, a daily updates, a weekly updates, or let's say a monthly status project updates. Depends on the project size and depends on the organization that you're running the project on. We also have to have, let's say, we have this best practice where you have a balanced detail, where you don't have to overload the project or the status report with any overwhelming data. So that will help you providing relevant details without overwhelming the stakeholders. Use of the dashboards and integration with project management tools to align the project with the real-time project data. So these are the common best practices to have an effective status report. Importance of having transparency decision making. So transparency in decision making means keeping stakeholders informed about all of the choices that impact them. By providing a clear justifications and involving the relevant stakeholders and the decisions, and also documenting the changes, the project managers can minimize the conflicts and maintain the trust. How to support the transparency in decision making? By having an open communication. What does it mean with open communication? By clearly explaining the rationale behind the project decisions. So it's like you describe why this decision was taken against that action. So this is called, let's say, having a transparency when taking a decision. Also, the inclusive decision making by involving the key stakeholders in decision. So you don't take the decision by yourself without involving the key stakeholders within the project and decisions. So ensures that you involve the key stakeholders to ensure their accountability and, let's say, accountability and responsibility in taking the some of these project decisions. The change control logs which document and communicate the changes. Finally, we have the stakeholder access to the key information. By providing an access to non-confidential insights, stakeholders, you ensures the transparency when taking a decision. Let's take an example here, whereas a government IT project, which is held, let's say, public briefings to ensure the transparency in budget allocation and decision-making process. That has reduced resistance and fostering a community of support. When it comes to having an efficient status report and customizing these reports to meet different stakeholder groups and needs. So again, we talked about different stakeholders who have different needs. So executives here requires high level insight, while technical teams may need more detailed reports. So customizing these reports based on stakeholder priorities, clarity ensures that the information remains relevant reducing the miscommunication and enhancing the decision making. We have here some examples of these, let's say, report types and different, let's say, level of insights. For example, we have high level summaries, which could be provided for the executive stakeholders. We also have a detailed report, which is used to present these, let's say, updates or status for technical teams and project managers. Financial report, it can be used to be shown to the investors and sponsors of the project. We also have regulatory compliance report, which is used for government and legal entities. So depends on the stakeholder or the type of stakeholder you are dealing with. You need to tailor your, let's say, reports to meet these stakeholder needs. When it comes to manage the sensitive stakeholder information with its ethical standards, so transparency must be balanced with ethical responsibility. While stakeholders require access to this information, confidential data must be protected. By implementing a data security protocols and rule-based access, also clear confidentiality on these agreements ensures responsible reporting practices. So you as a project manager, you need to understand the confidential confidentiality and agreements by protecting these sensitive project details. Also, selective information sharing by limiting the access based on the stakeholder roles and needs. We also looked into these data security measures by encrypting the reports and enforce the access control in case that you're dealing with a high, say, secure project that you don't need anyone to see the details of that project. And by having an ethical communication practices, you avoid the misrepresentation of the project data, and you enhance the trust between you and the stakeholders. Here are some of these stakeholder reporting formats and tools. Different types of reports serves different purposes. Project dashboards provide a real-time insight, while periodic reports summarizes the key milestones. Choosing the right format ensures the stakeholder receives an actionable insight without unnecessary complexity. And some of these, let's say, report, including the project dashboards, which contains real-time updates using tools, for example, like the Power BI or Tableau, or for example, these project management tools like Jira, which provides all of these real-time updates without you having to have this visualization or analysis of the data techniques. Also have the progress report. And progress report, it's like periodic updates on the key milestones, the achievements, the challenges, and risks. The risk reports here, it highlights the emerging risks and mitigation strategies with its effectiveness. We also have this financial report. And financial report, it shows the budget status and the cost forecasts, and sometimes it shows the cost variance in terms of, let's say, in terms of comparing it with the baseline. So depends on who you are presenting the project for, what's the purpose of that, let's say, report. You need to tailor all of the information included at each of these reports to meet the stakeholder needs. How to handle stakeholder concerns about transparency. Transparency doesn't mean exposing every detail. It means providing a relevant and honest and timely information. By setting a clear expectations and maintaining open communications, project managers can prevent misunderstanding and build stakeholder trust. And by managing the expectation and setting a clear communication guidelines, you enhance the transparency, um, or you handle your stakeholder concerns with transparency. Also, by addressing any misinformation. by, let's say, correcting any inaccurate reports quickly, and also make sure that the stakeholders are aware about this. Maybe this report has an inaccurate information. This is how you enhance the trust, and you show the transparency within your reports. Two-way communication is also one of these ways by allowing the stakeholders to provide a feedback on the provided status report or provided message. So this is how you enhance the, let's say, the two-way communication between you and the stakeholder, which also is very important part of the transparency between you and the stakeholders. Finally, we have this escalation path. An escalation path is like defining the procedures for resolving the concerns. Now let's talk about the role of technology in stakeholder reporting. As we know that technology enhances the transparency and efficiency in stakeholder reporting. Think of these automated reports to reduce the manual efforts Also these cloud-based dashboards which provide real-time access to the stakeholders. They can access the data at any time they want, as well as the AI-driven analytics, which provides a predictive analytics for the future of trends. We also have this data visualization tool like the Power BI, as I mentioned, Tableau, and other, let's say, tools to enhance the comprehension through charts and graphs. All of these tools or technological tools, it helps the project managers to provide stakeholders with real-time data-driven insights, leading to a better decision making. Let's take one of these examples where we have a pharmaceutical project which required regulatory approvals at multiple stages. Transparent milestone reporting help to secure the faster approvals. So you, as a project manager of a pharmaceutical project, you set a clear milestone that it has obtaining the regulatory approval. That it has helped to secure a faster approval and have secured the stakeholder support to support you with the legal, let's say, teams, allocating a legal expert to support you obtaining all of these required documentation, all of the required, let's say, requirements, the required needs to meet these regulatory approvals to keep your project on track. And by having a proactive engagement, it has reduced the compliance delays. So this case study highlights the importance of structured reporting and clear communication. By maintaining the transparency and customizing reports for regulatory agencies, the project has avoided compliance roadblocks and achieved faster approvals. And to summarize our session on stakeholder reporting and transparency, stakeholder reports or reporting isn't just about data, it's about clarity, transparency, and trust. And by maintaining the ethical communication practices, also leveraging the technology and customizing report based on the stakeholder needs and level of, let's say, detail, project managers can ensure the engagement and alignment with the project objectives by all of the stakeholders.